I've stayed at every single Disney World hotel, and we are at one of my absolute favorites today for a quick walkthrough of Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. There are a lot of hotels in Disney World, around 20, plus if you count the different sections of the hotels. It is really difficult to make the decision of where you want to stay, especially when you're accommodating price as well as experience. So today we are going to take a quick tour of Disney's Coronado Springs Resort to decide if a stay here is right for you and to show you a little bit about what to expect if you do decide to stay here. That's right, it's a crash course, baby, and I'm your guide. Coronado Springs is a moderate resort that opened in 1997 with 1,917 rooms and suites in the 3 villages and 545 rooms in the 15-story Grand Casino Tower, which just opened in 2019. This is a convention hotel, so expect to see businessy folks around if you're staying here, although it's also a very large hotel, so hopefully it won't be too crowded. The theming around the hotel is inspired by Spain, Mexico, and Southwest America. Grand Casino in particular has Spanish design with influences from the artist Salvador Dali, and there's a lot of homages to Salvador Dali and Walt's relationship, because Walt Disney and Salvador Dali did work together at times. This hotel is in Disney's Animal Kingdom area. That said, you do have views of a lot of Disney World from Grand Casino Tower. You're kind of in the center, but it does take a while to get around. There's only bus transportation. We'll talk about it in a minute, but that is one thing to keep in mind. And of course, as you are staying at a Disney hotel, you do get those Disney perks. That includes free parking at your hotel and the theme parks. It includes early access to the parks 30 minutes prior to the park open every single day at the park of your choice, access to the Disney dining plan, and a whole lot more. First, let's talk about the most important part of any resort stay, and that's the rooms, because you know that's where you're gonna be sleeping. It's what you're booking. It's what you're spending the money on. So let's talk about those rooms. There are a lot of different room types at Coronado Springs, and I mean a lot. First, let's talk a little bit about casitas. These are these buildings that you'll see out across the water from me, these little 2-story buildings. So those are gonna have a majority of the hotel rooms at this hotel, and then some are gonna be located in this tower here, Grand Casino Tower, of course the newest addition to the hotel. You can expect to find rooms with standard and water views, king bed and preferred options, and then you can even find club level and some suites in the Grand Casino Tower. Now that is one really interesting thing about Coronado Springs, is it is the only moderate resort with club level. It is the least expensive club level in Disney World. If you time it right with your dates, you can get a club level room for around $450 per night at Coronado Springs. Now we do have a video that just came out on the channel overviewing club level at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. So if you want to see more about that, you can join me and Sage as we tour the club level lounge, a deluxe suite, and a whole lot more in that video. In Disney World, moderate is going to be the middle category, which means the rooms are going to be sized comfortably, and there's going to be a nice number of amenities, but it's not going to have as many amenities as a deluxe room. As pricing goes, the casitas start at $260 per night, and the tower starts around $316 per night in 2024. Those prices do vary based on room type, view type, and date. The date is really going to change. Of course, holidays, it can spike a whole lot. And the cheapest is going to be those value times of year. Usually February-ish is some of the cheapest times of year. Something to go ahead and note though is that those $316 plus rooms in the tower are going to be, in my opinion, pretty similar to what you would expect from a deluxe Disney World resort, both in space and in amenities. Not necessarily in theming, but they are really, really nice rooms. There are tons of options here at Coronado Springs. And it's why it's one of my favorite hotels, is because it has that deluxe feel when you stay in Grand Casino Tower without the deluxe prices. Now the reason for that is that Coronado Springs is a major convention hotel, so it caters to a little bit of a traveling business audience. Both Disney's actual internal conventions are held there, and then third-party conventions are held here as well. That means you might have a little higher crowds with the convention crowds, but it also means that, especially in Grand Casino Tower, everything's a little bit nicer for those business groups that are used to that level of service. I also think that's the reason this hotel has club level at all, is that it caters a little bit more to that business crowd. You also can expect it to be a little less Disney, a little less overtly themed, just because it has a different target audience. Now that we've talked the basics, let's talk about activities here at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. And we're gonna start with the most exciting activities at the dig site. Now, just because this is a business skewed hotel does not mean it's not great for families. In fact, I absolutely loved this pool when I was a little kid because it's got an amazing theme. And I can't wait to show you. The dig site is the main activity area of this hotel, and it has the Lost City of Cibola. This is an amazing pool. that is themed to ruins with a full Mayan pyramid as the main slide. In addition to that amazing water slide, this huge pool, which is very popular with those who have stayed at Coronado Springs, also has a play area. It has a spot where you can play ball games. It has the Iguana Arcade. There's just a whole lot to do at the dig site, and it's very popular with those who have stayed at this hotel, and a reason why they keep coming back. And this isn't the only pool either. There are also 3 leisure pools that are a little bit quieter, a little bit smaller, all around the hotel. Like other Disney hotels, Coronado Springs also has campfire activities as well as movies under the stars, which is the nightly movie outside, weather permitting. You can do the Colors of Coronado painting experience. I highly recommend checking out your recreation boards when you get to your hotel to see what's going on at your hotel that you can do. Usually there are some free recreation offerings as well as some upcharged ones. Either one might be something you're interested in. If you are into fitness, there are volleyball courts as well as jogging trails, and in Gran Destino Tower, you can find a fitness center with some spa offerings too. My favorite thing about this is they have the hoop that Miguel and Tulio play in Road to El Dorado. There's a lot of really amazing Latin influences at this hotel, and I think make it pretty spectacular. Now let's talk a little bit about the food. This is a very important part of a hotel stay, and Coronado Springs has a ton of offerings, especially when you consider that it's a moderate hotel. In fact, it might have the most restaurants of any of the Disney World hotels, which is pretty darn cool. The literal centerpiece of the hotel is Three Bridges Bar and Grill at Villa del Lago. Now this is literally located in the middle of the lake, with views of the hotel all around it. Three Bridges is a table service restaurant slash lounge, really more of a lounge. You can typically find walk-up seating here. Their specialty is sangria. They have some amazing bites. There's like a legendary corn dip that you can get here that I absolutely love. And you can even do sangria classes at Three Bridges, which if that's something you'd like to see on the channel, to see if it's something you would want to get, go ahead and let us know in the comments. Now, because Coronado Springs had that big addition with Gran Destino Tower, there is Gran Destino Tower, which is where the main lobby is currently located. And then there's also the old lobby building, which is just next door. That's what's right in front of us now. The old lobby building is home to Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, Cafe Rick's, El Mercado de Coronado, and Maya Grill. Now, Rick's Sports Bar and Grill is going to be a table service restaurant that is what it sounds like, the sports bar, which is a little bit few and far between in Disney World. But this one, though not exactly something we would recommend going out of the way for, makes for some awesome classic eats. And they even have chicken and Mickey waffles. El Mercado de Coronado is going to be the main quick service restaurant at Coronado Springs. This is going to be your big cafeteria style. Going to have a lot of your classics like chicken tenders, but then also have some Latin inspired eats. Maya Grill is a table service, one of, I would say, the least popular table services in Disney World. It is a Mexican restaurant, very easy to get a reservation, although not one that we always, rave about. I've actually never been there. It's on my list of restaurants that I've never been to, so I'll probably be heading into it soon because I am on a quest to finish out every single Disney World restaurant. Cafe Rick's is similar to Rick's Sports Bar. It's going to be a little bit more of a cafe vibe with sandwiches and coffees. But even that, all in the old lobby building, are not the only options for food. There are also 2 kind of walk-up outdoor bars. Over by the pool, we passed Siesta's Cantina, which is going to be the pool bar with a few kind of lunchy offerings. And here, I actually really love Laguna Bar. This is a bar that sits right on the water outside of the old lobby building. And it's a great spot to go up and get a drink. We actually had drinks together here while we were filming our Bachelor video, which you can see in the video. It was a total blast. It's just a solid bar with a really idyllic location. And Gran Destino Tower has some offerings of its own. The signature restaurant at Coronado Springs is Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood. This is a Spanish restaurant. I've had some really wonderful meals here. I would not say it is as must-do as some of the other signatures in Disney World. I would pick something like Topolino's Terrace or California Grill over this spot, but Toledo still has some really amazing eats. And if you're staying at Coronado Springs and want to have a bit of an elevated date night, I highly recommend it. They import all of their olive oils, which is really cool. I've had an amazing bone-in steak, and they've got some really famous desserts there as well. My favorite dining location at Coronado Springs, as well as Sage's, is Dahlia Lounge. Now, this is a lounge that is open pretty late, usually open until about midnight. It is on the top floor, so it's a great spot to watch fireworks. It's got panoramic views of Disney World. You can see Epcot, you can see Hollywood Studios. One of the best views in Disney World at all. But also it has amazing drinks and eats too. And if that's not enough for you, we also have the beautiful Barcelona Lounge with this incredible stained glass background, of course inspired by the art of Salvador Dali. This lounge is a coffee bar in the morning with some of my favorite coffee in Disney World. Very butch coffee though, it's aggressive, so just a heads up. And then in the evening it becomes a cocktail, a wine bar, sitting right off of the lobby. Absolutely gorgeous, with a couple of different lounge snacks, including marinated olives. You see it here, folks. Now, before we can talk about if Coronado Springs is right for you, we do need to talk about the transportation. Now, because Coronado Springs is kind of far from everything, you are gonna have to bus everywhere. There's no boat transportation, no monorail, no Skyliner, so you are on the least exciting version of Disney transportation. There's also an internal bus loop because the resort is so large, so the bus does have to go around to a number of stops, and that can elongate your trip to and from the park. It's something to keep in mind just because it has to go all the way around the whole hotel. And that can be a lot when you're in a rush trying to get to the park to make a lightning lane or dining reservation. It's a little bit of a minus to this hotel that I otherwise love. And with that, it's time to decide if you should get booking at Coronado Springs or keep looking. You should get booking if you're looking for the best value for what you pay. Coronado Springs is a moderate resort with reasonable prices while offering some of the options you would expect from a deluxe. It's an absolutely amazing hotel for prices that I think actually fit what's offered, which, in my opinion, a little more difficult to find in Disney World because of that Disney premium. You should book this hotel if you're a bit of a foodie. There are a lot, and I mean a lot of dining options here, and especially Toledo, Dahlia Lounge, and Three Bridges are gonna offer some amazing experiences. You should also book if you're a party of adults. This hotel is not the most kid-oriented, and if you're staying here, especially in the tower, it can be a really nice, grown-up kind of escape experience. You should keep looking if you don't want to end up in convention crowds. This is a large hotel, and because of that and the conventions, you can end up in really big crowds on the buses, just around the hotel, if you end up at the wrong time. You should also keep looking if you want to be closer to the theme parks. There are some value hotels that sit right on the Skyliner and get you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot a whole lot easier than Coronado Springs does. And you should keep looking if you want that Disney vibe. If your Disney World vacation is all about all Disney all the time, Coronado Springs is gonna feel a little bit separated from that, so I would keep looking. But don't worry, if you do decide to keep looking, I have ranked every single Disney World hotel on the channel as I have stayed in every single one, so you can head over to that video to find out which hotel is right for you. And that is Coronado Springs. I hope this has helped you decide if it is right for you or not. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and if you wanna keep looking at Coronado Springs, check out my full tour on the channel now. I'll see you there. Bye!